Thank you all very much for coming to Stone Soup tonight. I'm reporting to you from parts unknown. I guess I've always reported from parts unknown because I don't give out my address, but this is new parts unknown, my new residential area. I'm not quite right behind a bookshelf. If I turn this, you might see a set of shelves about to be filled with something. They might be my books, might not be. So it's progress. It's progress. Plus, for all my lack of lamp in here, the lighting's actually better than it was in my old place. Go fig. But enough of that. We have poetry to cover and we have voices that need to be heard. We are less than 2 weeks away from the election. Everyone's been on the call encouraging us to vote. If you're listening to this on YouTube, which is where this will air, starting sometime Thursday morning, probably after 8 o'clock, maybe between 8 and 8:30, we are going to encourage you to, if you're listening now, and it's not before the first week of November, we encourage you to go out and vote. And if you're hearing this the Thursday after this, after our live reading and the 22nd, we encourage you to go out and vote early. Hedge your bets on this one, people. If you're listening to a poetry reading, you're probably not leaning right. So unless you had mistaken this for a purity ring prom, in which case you're really off track. But if you're listening to poetry, chances are you lean left like I do. So I do encourage you to get out there, vote, hedge your bets. Even in the blue state of Massachusetts, there are several red stains, or as I used to call them after Scott Brown got elected, a lot of brown streaks. There's a lot of places where the red can draw blood, can get us, and there's not much we can do to change those people's minds. But all we can do is assert our own minds and put the work. Hope is easy. Fuck hope at this point. Let's get to work. Let's get out there and vote at the very least. And if you can volunteer, if God bless you, if you have any time to volunteer, keep on doing so. Let people know. And if you need help, you can post something on the Stone Soup Facebook group and pass word around like that. Again, thank you for what you do. If you are volunteering, if you are working at the polls, it's amazing work, and I hope to do that for. Thanks, Patricia. I hope to, if not this year, hopefully do it for the next general election. Thank you. The Weekly Dig just came out today, and I think one of the cover stories was "The Elephant in the Room: Is the Massachusetts GOP Dead?" Now, even back in the bad days of GW, 2008 me would be like, well, it's bad if there are, because you want a full discourse of ideas, and any one group having too much power is a bad thing because it can be corrupted. Look at Clinton. We had full power. He didn't do anything. He was a moderate centrist at best. But now 20,000 of me is going, is the Mass GOP dead? Yes. But I hope so, at least. Vote blue no matter who. Sounds like a cop-out. Maybe to extent it is, but that's what I'm doing now because red has no cred. Someone's got to make that a button. I might make that a button. But anyway, one of our staff members at Oddball actually dropped out this week saying that we were getting too political, and I think I know what that means at this point of the time. But I think knowing that he left makes him more determined to actually find out if we can do vote blue no matter who, because the red has no cred, and make that into a coffee mug. Everything is political, people. Everything is political at this point. To say otherwise is a lot of deniability. Maybe it was different back in the 80s and the ironic 90s, but no longer. At any rate, people, we're going to get started. And again, Stone Soup is back, meeting Wednesday from 7 to 9 online. And hopefully we'll return sometime in 2021 or 22. I'd like it to be 21 because that's the 49th anniversary of Stone Soup on May 1st. Hopefully we'll be in an actual physical space. Maybe we'll be in a church. Maybe I'll rent out a place in the Coolidge Corner Theater. Maybe we'll do it down at at one of our favorite cafes down in Nubian Square. We're going to see what we can do, and I pray that whoever's coming in, whether it's whether it's Biden or someone else wearing a Trump suit because Trump is in a coma, in a steroid-induced coma. Hopefully, they have more than enough sense to fix the pandemic before the end of the following year. With that in mind, let's bring us to the first person who I knocked out of the waiting room to bring him in here. He's the first one to ask me when Stone Soup was coming back, and I do appreciate that, and I appreciate his sounds. Is the person who I dubbed the Pulse of Stone Soup so many years ago. Let's welcome up Ethan Mackler.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Any problems
All right.
on my part if the connection's weak? We're still testing out Zoom here at my house, but it's not you, it's me. But so far, you're coming in pretty clear. I hope
All right.
agrees.
Okay. Here's an excerpt from Edgar Allan Poe's Alone. From childhood hour I have not been, as others were I have not seen, as others saw I could not bring my passion from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow I could not awaken, my heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ethan. Ethan Mackler, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you'll come back from an encore as we go through this round robin. And the second person I put down in this round robin is Mary Jennings. Mary, say hello and let's hear your poem.
Hi there. Hi everyone. If you remember a few months ago, I read a poem about 45, which I based on an episode of the Twilight Zone. I've now written this series of cinquains about 45, which I've derived from an episode of another sort of classic television series, which in this case was Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. And I had derived this from if you watch the series, and if you remember the Resplendent Man episode, too long to get into what it's about. But anyway, when I looked at old pictures of him, I immediately thought of Resplendent Man, from his earlier days in the military academy. So this is the Resplendent Man cinquains. Behold, resplendent man, with his shiny medals, all for show, none that have been earned. Cheater. Behold, resplendent man, in his military garb, deferred from battlefield. Preener. Behold, resplendent man, who's the fortunate son, also known as Cadet Bone Spurs. Lazy. Behold, resplendent man, who is not a loser, like the ones who died in battle, ingrate. Behold, resplendent man, a healthy specimen of good, clean, uprighteous living, dumpster. Behold, resplendent man, it's all about money. If you're dead broke, you might as well die. Value. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Moving next, let's go to Mr. John Wizik.
Okay. Picked out a poem called Bleak November. I don't know why. They're building a statue of Joseph McCarthy on the Mall in Washington, D.C. A scaffold of human bones supports the structure that towers over the rubble of the Lincoln Memorial. At night, Klieg lights illuminate the scene to show the world our pride in America's homegrown despot. A flashing red bulb on the senator's head warns away low-flying aircraft. Protests have no effect. Lies fall like missiles as politicians fire bricks in the kiln of hypocrisy. Airwaves buzz with reports of well-wishers leaving tiny Eichmann figures at the statue's base. A toxic haze loiters like a pack of stray dogs. Books fuel the blast furnaces that smelt wiretaps, the tortured screams and untried prisoners' tears into slag that will form the senator's bulbous nose and cruel mouth. Fiction, poetry, and science books too all go into the fire. I thought the Bible would be safe, but a girl in an Idi Amin t-shirt came with scissors to remove the offending passages. I touch this land. The spirits of freedom sprout. Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, a bounty of abolitionists, suffragists, union organizers, and soldiers who died for liberty. The blacklisted arise. David Bohm, Charlie Chaplin, Aaron Copland, John Garfield, Dashiell Hammett, Lillian Hellman, Arthur Miller, Zero Mostel, Robert Oppenheimer, Dorothy Parker, Paul Robeson, Pete Seeger, and Studs Terkel. Armed with pickaxes and microphones, the legions converge to tear that abomination down.
Thank you, John. Up next, we have, let's welcome the antics of our own Bill Lewis.
As some of you might be aware, one of our fine poets here some of our poets are very attractive individuals, and occasionally they put nice pictures of themselves on Facebook, and occasionally they are very, very attractive, and you're not supposed to get overwhelmed with these things. You know how it is, but we men, we start looking at pictures and we get carried away, and it's oh, heart of mine, be still. Let yourself not be obsessed with mere imagery. A pretty picture is indeed a lovely sight, but chasing girls in photos, this is not right. I'll allow my gaze to wander, but my soul shall remain detached. Dreamy thoughts about imaginary women are but mirages that you can't catch. But lo, this woman is my friend. She has shared her song with me. a poet goddess whom we all admire, powerful, exciting, and free. So heart go wild. I'll think my naughty thoughts with the rest. My poetess, my goddess, my friend is by far the loveliest. And Isabella sent me a message back and said, can I put that in my chat book?
next round, his next turn, we'll find out if she said yes. Thank you very much, Bill. Um, we are moving on now to. You should check out some of the Poets OnlyFans pages. Anyway, well, some of you don't get that, do you? Anyway, let's welcome up next Patricia Kerrigan.
Hi. This is political. It was published in Oddball magazine, Blue and Green. 1. Life moves from code orange to red. Malevolence, a side effect of governmental discord. The 21st century burns after fires cease. 2. I walk past boarded up stores and vacant streets, see rainbows slip into the void. But blue and green step back, become allies. Blue and green, green and blue. 3. Miles Davis plays his trumpet. My speculations are put to rest. Colors of the sky mellow after dusk. I align with blue and green. Thank you. Yeah, there's a little echo going on here.
Huh. I'll mute. I'll make sure to keep muting myself. I don't know why I echo. It might be because I do have Carol Weston on, but her phone is pretty far away, so I'm not sure what the effect is. This only happens if I actually happen to put the phone on speaker normally, but I'll keep it on mute from now on. So sorry about that. And oddly enough, I'm not getting the echo here, which is strange because when I did put the phone on speaker, I would get the echo as well. But we'll figure that out, and we're going to move on to the next person on the open mic. Jan Rowe, are you ready to go?
Oh, unmute me. Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay. This is just the second draft of something I was working on, Black Seed Writers, yesterday at St. Paul's. The title of this one is Free Market for Whom? When Dr. Atlas was Giuliani's whatever, Atlas said the free market would take care of healthcare. So what other country has medical bankruptcies? When Ralph Cellucci was governor in the 90s, before he died of Lou Gehrig's, at a Greater Boston Interfaith Organization meeting at St. Mark's, Shawmut, Dorchester, Governor Cellucci said the free market would take care of the housing problem. That's before rents tripled and quadrupled. Jared Kushner said the free market would take care of COVID. And just a short thing I wrote today called, The post office police were disbanded right after they arrested Steve Bannon and others on a yacht for living it up on money supposedly for the wall. Right after DeJoy, who bought the job, said he would do no further changes prior to election after he removed about 700 sorting machines. But yes, the post office police were disbanded right after they arrested Steve Bannon. Can't have that. Thank you.
Very good, dear.
Thank you, Jan. And we're going back now to, I think we're at the point where we bring some people in from the phone world. Let's bring up next. Who are we bringing up next? Yes. Nancy Dodson, just press *6 to unmute your phone and come join us. And come read your poem.
Planting. Creativity is planting plants. Where would they sprout best? Light, shade, and the arrangement. Good earth, water, and would they bloom? Checking weeds grow at a strangler. The blue, unworthy sky lifted my eyes upward. The plants would grow at my feet. Their blossoms hopefully would be ever growing. But watering was the poodle's forte as she sniffed the ground, and I lifted the watering can.
Thank you, Nancy. We're going to bring ourselves now to, I am unmuting her now because I have to do it. Very good. So without any further ado, let's welcome up one of our other stalwarts by way of phone, who's been following Stone Soup since she was laid up for injury, and she's back. She's out of the hospital, thankfully, and back with us always. Let's welcome Carol Weston.
Okay, thank you. The new skin of creation. What is this body waking out of the sleep of eternity under the first rains, steaming upward? Do I see an eye born of lightning, which is the first living cell upon the waters? It dances as oil of all colors. I bathe there beside the living cell, under the rainbow of wet sunlight, the jump rope of colors raised in the heavens. Who shall breathe in these waters? Who shall show their white teeth blinding in the dark depths, even the golden organic wavering arms of the weed of existence? I hold in my arm the strange one-celled celebrations of being. Eyeless and voiceless, they are the breath of the wind of all that is to come. Oh, swim in these waters, those of us who go back to witness these beginnings. Let us press our breaths into and embrace the oncoming kingdom that shall be the great evolution of form and function of body. I cannot count the bones of all the generations. I cannot enumerate the eyes, the colored marbles to come out of the fires of the earth under the wet of the rainbows. O beginnings, you are wholly in the primordial stew of all that shall pass, from minute swimming transparency to Leviathan. Do I see the first tooth under these waters, the fast flukes of the whale, the speed of darkness in the deep ink waters, which shall write the swarming history of animal kind? Do I see the first eggs of the urchin, the 5-pointed starfish, echinoderms of spiraling light, among the first eyes of phosphorescence in the dark waves under moonlight? I hold my arms out and my legs out, and my head is my 5th limb as I go back to swim as starfish echinoderm at the beginning of time, the beginning of light, the beginning of God's eye upon the waters, God's hand upon the new skin of creation.
Thanks so much, Carol. That was great. And now, I believe, that's funny. I thought CC Oshaga had been joining us, but he might have been forced to leave us. So now it gives me great pleasure and no choice but to bring us to the last person in the round robin. I'm always glad to welcome him. Check out his column, It's All One Thing, at Oddball Magazine, without fail, every Thursday at 11 in the morning. And tune into Oddball next week. You do have until, just so you know, we do have until the end of this week, this Friday, the end of Friday, to submit something for our double shot of horror and politics. We're celebrating the Trump-iversary, which was we're counting down to the anniversary of Trump's election, and we're also doing Halloween. But this time, we want actual depiction of horror rather than talking about COVID and hope, which a lot of the people do, which is fine, which is valid. But if we're going to do Halloween, and we now know that in 2020, most people would not run away from a zombie apocalypse. They would let themselves get bitten, crying fake news. Most horror has no meaning. As a matter of fact, it's a laugh they call modern horror when making like the last Halloween, even the last Halloween movie, because everything seems to have changed so much. So with that idea, if you're going to do something about the pandemic, if you're going to do something about Trump, let's let the horror come out. And some people seem to have been taking our requests. You have until the end of October 23rd if you feel like submitting something. So one or two of you on this list may already have. And we're going to be counting down all the way to the election, which I believe is taking place it's November 3rd. So yeah, we'll be having something then. I have to work on my Donald Trump Jesus poem for then. Holy hell. But enough of that for now. We're going to welcome up the final person in this first round of the round robin. Cece, sorry, I was going to get you, but don't know why you left. Let's welcome up Mr. James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. So I've got a poem here from a few years back, which is a part of my series of poems that I wrote about the Lone Ranger. This one is called The Lone Stranger Meets the Drone Ranger, or the 50-year cover-up in plain sight. When I grew up, we watched Westerns on our new TV sets, and it was so popular that local stations had their own cowboy heroes to introduce the cowboy heroes of the old 1930s and 40s shoot-'em-ups. Brave riders who drew fast, shot straight, and were always good, selfless protectors who rode off into the sun after the showdown. They had names like Hoot Gibson and Ken Maynard and the Three Mosquitoes. And what a joy to see them loping into the camera toward us 10-gallon hats all in the saddle, who would hop from horseback to tree limb, from tree limb to float down near ground, dangling from perfectly thrown rope and ascending back again onto galloping horseback. They were so graceful in all they did, skipping back and forth over whirling lariat, only to tip their big hats forward over their brows, never looking for trouble, always first to find a clever way out of confrontation, available to another way so steadfast, humble and true that each episode they show us that even the most draconian conspiracies always contain the seeds of their own destruction, and innocent unpretentiousness will always prevail. In a way, we will gallop on our great pony to cut them off of the pass and bring the word that must be heard to all those who never know what's really going on, only to stop for a moment just in polite farewell, to turn and doff those huge hats on their rearing steeds, and then shyly disappear in a cloud of dust out toward the brilliant sunrise of the future, where life is waiting not just for them, but for all of us, so that we revel in this simple purity. Fads broke out. Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett and every kid had to want a real genuine raccoon skin hat. And before it was all over, gambler and land speculator Jim Bowie had his own show. Jim Bowie was a fiercely fighting man. And Thunk, his massive curved fighting knife, still quivering in a tree. I'll never forget finally seeing the show Gunsmoke for the first time at my cousin's house in Detroit, because back in those days of rabbit ear antennas, we only got 2 of the 3 networks, and Gunsmoke turned out to be as grim as Wagon Train. Something truly horrible was always about to happen out on the old frontier, and yet the new frontier was endlessly empty space itself. We always seemed to be looking for another new frontier, over and over. Now I wake after watching a historian talk until midnight about our forever war that he says began when cousin Jimmy Carter made his Carter Doctrine vow to defend American interests in the Persian Gulf, when the US, us, was already supporting the Mujahideen in Afghanistan to give Russia its very own Vietnam. And Charlie's War was arming Osama bin Laden, and in fact, creating his base, Al-Qaeda, so named after the CIA database, kept at the CIA training camp in the tribal areas. Yes, we were helping those tribal people to kill the Russians. Then, yet soon enough, there they were, inexplicably, inexcusably, flying planes into the World Trade Center towers, and then their trainer from that CIA training camp was being tortured in Thailand, of all places. Gee, how did all those revolting developments happen, huh? And how did we all end up with a war on whistleblowers waged by the president who had promised the most transparent administration ever? Maybe if we had a draft, we'd have some skin in the terror war game. But it's also bucolic, as we all graze in those virtual fields forever, in that forever war of by and for terror, when did the Black Site gang take over? When did the president become the Drone Ranger? When did the president become corporate Caesar? Who can say that Boudica, with her daughters in her side chariot, that her children will become the head of a greater empire than the Romans? How do we live with a sixth extinction in the eternal moment? Hi-oh, silver and away, when the U.S. never did buy silver, and it was a great interwar Great Depression, and FDR that finally got rid of gold redemption, and Nixon himself, who of course got rid of the gold standard, so those banksters have been quantitative easing, whether Keynesian or monetarist, for 40 years, and it turns out Watergate and Iran-Contra were just way stations on the continental migration to the current age state of lawlessness and total surveillance states, and it seems the Lone Ranger has become the Drone Stranger. And his theme song, the William Tell Overture, that once I used to put my grandbabies to sleep with a gentle hand on their snoo backs, bum, 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 has turned into childish chant that in my head repeats over and over. Drone Ranger, let precious peace come over. Drone Ranger, let the forever war be over. And where's the Lone Ranger now? And when will we hear happy trails to you? And never be heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day? Oh, out on the interstices of cultural borders, and out on the frontiers and the tribal areas. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the stormy weather? As long as we're all singing here together, happy trails to you, till we meet again, till we meet again.
Wow.
Thank you. You know, if you really watch the old Lone Ranger shows, they're really not about a guy who goes around doing everything himself. They're actually about a guy who's trying to build community with his faithful friend, Tonto.
Thank you so much, James. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh, we're going to be joined by CC again. Maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't. Until then, Ethan, do you want to go a second time?
Yes, please.
Okay, Ethan Mekler, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, this is a piece by Chad. I hope he doesn't mind me doing it. It's fitting for this week. It's called Housewarming Tips. Import overpriced plastic furniture from your home state so you can claim an authentic ethnic background to the out-of-country club hoppers and local trust fund refugees who will exchange belief like nods for wine. Save the glasses they discard and measure the liters. Each was comfortable to leave unfinished. It will equal the number of years their future was paid for. Later, when lying down with the one who has the highest number, leave on every light outside your room. Imagine servants standing by, burning their hands on bulbs to stay awake, afraid to miss a summoning.
You bought my chapbook, Ethan?
No, it's all online. I'm too cheap to buy it.
I wonder where I wonder where that went. I wonder how you got that.
There's this website called Chad Parento Poet for Hire. I'm not sure if you know about it or not, but it has.
I can't believe where did I put that? Where was that one published before I went on the thing? Damn it! Now I have to think about this. Okay, guys, hey, I've been doing this for like over 20 years. I have a right to not have full track of my work. But anyway, I've written a lot.
The Concelebratory Shoehorn Review, issue 15.
Oh God, that was a long time ago. That one's still up. Jesus, I thought I'd have to take that down as a dead site. Nice to know they're still around. But anyway, thank you, Ethan, and let's bring us now to the next person on the open mic. Let's welcome back Mary Jennings. I'll put myself on mute.
Okay. This one is called The Flight. Bitter and glorious, sounds like revenge, as in living well. Cannot say that I am elated, my flight indefinitely delayed. Too used to hearing you're grounded until I do right by them. Never mind right by me. If I cannot fly, then I will walk away from all of this. Too late for bonding harmoniously after the bondage. And after the bondage, I have no love left for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And now, let's bring us now to, back to John Wizik.
All right. Since we're doing politics tonight, this is America Responds to the Crisis. Not FBR, but Herbert Hoover. Not the Marshall Plan, but the Great Leap Forward. Not a doctor, but an eviction. Not a bandage, but another wound. Not Thomas Edison, but Charles Ponzi. Not Henry Ford, but Bernie Madoff. Not Apple, but Enron. Not Lincoln, but Torquemada. Not Jefferson, but Joe McCarthy. Not Churchill, but Milosevic. Not Hannah Arendt, but Adolf Eichmann. Not Mandela, but Mobutu Sese Manasseh Seiko, not Mother Teresa, but Gordon Gekko, not Mahatma Gandhi, but Indira Gandhi, not the Bill of Rights, but the Alien and Sedition Acts, not habeas corpus, but the Nuremberg defense, not the First Amendment, but the Salem witch trial, not Mr. Smith goes to Washington, but Wag the dog, not Citizen Kane, but Happy Gilmore, not Hemingway, but J.T. Leroy, not A Brief History of Time, but The Secret, not oxygen, but phlogiston, not biology, but phrenology, not Galileo, but Ptolemy, not Einstein, but Lysenko, not tortillas, but cornbread, not Louis Pasteur, but Typhoid Mary, not penicillin, but thalidomide, not Jonas Salk, but iron lungs, not 60 Minutes, but Access Hollywood, not Edward R. Murrow, but Perez Hilton, not Miranda, but Dred Scott, not Frederick Douglass, but Jefferson Davis, not MLK, but Father Coughlin, not Dublin, but Belfast, not Rome, but Carthage, not Paris, but Mogadishu, not Spartacus, but Crassus, not a republic, but an empire, not Patton, but Montgomery, not Grant, but McClellan, not D-Day, but the Maginot Line, not Appomattox, but the Battle of Bull Run, not the Interstate, but the Trail of Tears, not FDR, but Herbert Hoover, not the Marshall Plan, but the Great Leap Forward, not a doctor, but an eviction, not a bandage, but another wound, not Thomas Edison, but Charles Ponzi. Are you tired of this yet? Me too.
Very impressive. I take umbrage at Happy Gilmore. That's the one Adam Sandler movie I like. Maybe call it Happy Madison because they produce every other freaking Adam Sandler film I don't like.
Yeah, not Punch Drunk Love, though, by Paul Thomas Anderson. Come on, dude.
I haven't seen that one yet. And yes, I know I should.
Oh, you gotta do it.
Although I heard Hubie Halloween was actually pretty good. That was actually filmed up in Salem. That's his new one on Netflix. But I'm not. I'm not here to mount a defense on Adam Sandler. He doesn't need me. He's got all his out-of-work SNL cast members who depend on him for money to defend him. So, but enough of that. Let's bring us now to the next person on the open mic, and I believe it is. I have to keep on holding the list up to my face because there's no light. Otherwise, I just want to make sure. Let's welcome up next, Mr. Bill Lewis.
You have brought me on again so quickly. I had not assumed that I should be so fortunate as to speak at such an early date, but let me speak to Mr. John Wessex, who is responsible for my actions. I take no personal involvement in this whatsoever. You know what I am like, John, so it is your fault. Aaron and Donald. You, sir, have been heard speaking ill of me. Oh, Burry Poo, you have such thin skin. People, you know, regular people, they just do locker talk. Sir, I take exception to your unwarranted incivility. I demand satisfaction. The Rolling Stones tour? Oh, satisfaction. No, those socialistic Antifa police-hating Democrats. The terrible things you Democrats have said, very terrible things about some very nice people, very, very good people. Pistols at dawn, sir, pistols at dawn. Very poor, it's just fake news. It's all fake. I could have shot you on Broadway, you know, right there in the middle of the street. No one would have said a thing. Mr. Trump, I shall put a musket ball through your mindless, calumnious brain. I cannot miss with the girth of your belly. Oh no. Bone spurs, you know, bone spurs. I would have shot you dead, of course, but no, not now.
I put a ball through Hamilton. I shall not miss when I fire at you. I am so sorry, Arn, but you are too late because you are fired. It's your fault, John. You did that. It's all your fault.
It's a cutscene from Hamilton the musical. Anyway, I don't know. I haven't seen Hamilton. We are we're bouncing off each other and off the walls tonight at Stone Soup. Thank you, Bill. Let's bring up next Patricia Kerrigan.
Sorry, it's going to be very depressing.
I think we're ready for it.
Yeah, I wrote this last night because I was in one of those moods. Just say I love him. His engraved name on stone tells me he's not coming back. The mistakes made, the regrets that haunt, dreams can't revive what's lost. Rain comforts my face and hands. Trees stripped of youth wait for me to pass. A wilted red rose finds perpetual sleep. Grief at peace is laid to rest. Thanks.
Thank you, Patricia. And up next, I believe we have Miss, hopefully she's got something for another round. Maybe, maybe not. Jan Rowe, are you there? Or oh, she's calling it off. Okay. Well, then we can go back to our team phone from home. Let's bring up first Nancy Dotson. Nancy, just press *6 and you'll be able to unmute yourself.
Sickness, a sad day to be sick, and oh how I ache, the world dying around me. Why, Lord, kill me? I wish to live desperately each day in your creation, rejoicing gladness in every moment, not hating the day because of non-energetic sin, in quietness and loving confidence, I am thine.
Thank you, Nancy. And up next, let's welcome up. Hopefully she's ready as well. Actually, I need to unmute her. So I will do that. Very good. And let's welcome up for her final part in the round robin tonight, Ms. Carol Weston.
Oh, okay. The wind. Oh, wind, I worship your whip against my skin, scarring. I live for the wind that lifts my body, soaring. I came here thirsting for the wild wind to make me, to wake me out of sleeping. Give me the hurricane to haul in my arms, my body falling. I like the hugeness of the wind against the house wall, pulsing. I am 4 years old. Give me the lightning so I can see the tall trees falling. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And to wrap things up tonight, I think this has been really good. I hope this hypes us up to do more writing, send more stuff out. There's a lot of places taking. I just sent some work to the Newverse News, which is an interesting site. Hopefully it's a good quick turnaround time. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, I think it was actually a link from to your own WordWorks that made me want to go there. And more stuff hopefully coming in. Hopefully more things happening. Submit to Oddball, of course. And thanks to everyone who has already. I'm expecting the mother of all Trump pieces, or the mother of all pieces, for next week as we prepare for horrors that may or may not happen on November 3rd. Hopefully they will not. And to close us out, I bring you our penultimate closer, Mr. James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. So I got a brief poem and a song for you here. This is called Memories of the Heart Before Suburbia Got There. The heart was there, deep back in a last stand of the remaindered forest. It would be waiting for us, bubbling up from its black depths and sliding off in sheets which flow away in a creek past small, dense islands that could only be reached on bridges of fallen trees. Ah, the greens of the plant world, the red, yellow, and the blue of the insects and amphibians, the wild jazz of birds' territorial travails and the sense of life, and the matured odor of death, and the overwhelming aroma of the sun. We spun with it. It took us and raised us into the light, filtering through the organs of the leaves, and then dashed us down, ever farther down, into the abyss of the heart itself, where we could feel, could only truly know this is where all existence wells from. Now we are touching the place that birthed us all. And here's the song. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk while the neon lights are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown. Everything's waiting for you. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little place to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, and go downtown where all the lights are bright. Downtown, waiting for you tonight. Downtown, you're gonna be all right now. And you may find somebody kind to help and understand you there. Someone who is just like you and needs a gentle hand to guide them along. So maybe I'll see you there. We can forget all our troubles, forget all our cares, and go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. Don't wait a minute more. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Downtown, 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 downtown.
Thank you very much, James.
And there's Chris Chagra. He just came back.
I just saw that. So let's have him come on for a little bit of a double slot encore. You'll have to unmute yourself, CC. We can't do it.
Okay, how's that?
Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, poet author CC Chagra is back again, solving his troubleshot the problem. We were actually conversing during James's open slot. So, the mic is yours, sir.
Okay, so I wrote a song and I did this at Stone Soup, I think, in the mid-90s, and I want to try it again today. I did it at another open mic the other day out of a whim, but can you hear that?
Yeah.
Or do I have to turn on that audio thing where you go, what's it called? Oh yeah, turn on sound. I have original sound on. Is that gonna work?
I think whatever you just played now is going to be fine.
Okay. La 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 la. Did that? Okay. All right. This is a true story. I was in Harvard Square in '93, and it was a summer afternoon near sunset, and they were sitting out in front of where used to be. Remember the Learning Tree? I don't know if it's still there. Anyway, whatever. Harvard Square. There's little island over there, not at the pit, but over by the other side there. And there were these two girls. They were just like preteens, maybe 13, 14 years old, and they had a little business going. Their parents must have left them and trusted them there. And they were embroidering anything you wanted, like a flower or a butterfly on your jean jacket. And the sun was setting, and it was bouncing off the building, and they made this beautiful comment, and I just overheard the thing. I was sitting nearby, and they said something about how beautiful the sunset was in the sky and the colors. And then they started talking about that the world is going to end, and that this is like how beautiful an apocalypse. So I went home and I wrote Apocalyptic Child. And that's why there's a line in here, a needle, some thread, and an idea embroidering. The rest is about that. So I have no idea if this is going to sound good. I picked two chords, and here it goes 27 years later. Apocalyptic child, you're seeing of a world ending. No generations free from the few who see clearly nothing. So there's a thread of truth that tomorrows are not guaranteed. Oh, you with old jeans in hand, a needle, some thread, and an idea embroidering. Oh, apocalyptic child, close to nature and never far from hunger's love. Oh, on the streets of hope, where the politics of peasants share pain together. And when the world you're in unfolds, grows cold, then inhuman, the heart, raw compassion child, the wild facing of hating people, choking your vision life. Oh, apocalyptic child, beware the follow frenzy yourself what you're surrendering. Now what? What is anger to you now? Will in time be your own resource, lessons of your will to your voice, of your will to your voice. I ask you hear one thing I say, that I was in your age, and I still love today, today, today. Oh, apocalyptic child, if life was your creation, would you destroy what's hope? 27 years later. Dusted off that one. Thank you.
Nicely done, CC.
If anybody is a recording artist and they want lyrics, I never wanted to sing. I just wanted to be a lyric writer. Let me know.
Are you interested in doing one more? Because we're actually nearing towards the end. Everyone did their round robin.
Oh, I would like to read it as a poem to see how it sounds back to back.
Go ahead.
Oh, apocalyptic child, your seeing is of a world ending. No generation is free from the few who see clearly nothing. So there's a thread of truth that tomorrows are not guaranteed. Oh, you with old jeans in hand, a needle, some thread, and an idea embroidering. Oh, apocalyptic child, close to nature, never far from hunger's love. Home on the streets of hope, where the politics of peasants share pain together. When the world you're in unfolds, grows cold, then inhuman, the raw, the heart, raw compassion, child, the wild facing of hating people, choking your vision life. Oh, apocalyptic child, beware the follow frenzy. Ask yourself what you're surrendering. What is anger to you now will in time be your own resource, lessons of your will to your voice, of your will to your voice. I ask you here one thing I say, that I was in your age, and I still love today, today. Oh, apocalyptic child, if life were your creation, would you destroy what's hope?
Thanks so much, CC. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you all again. Hopefully we can spread the word and let people know that Stone Soup is back. I do have two potentials for features next week. A lot of people seem to want to come on after the election. No one wants to come on before the election. Not sure why. I think both would be pretty potent spots, but we will see what my two potentials say about this, and we will go from there. And come to think of it, I don't know if I would even want to read on the day after the election, no matter who wins. But a lot of people seem to want that spot, so we will see what happens. And we'll make announcements. And until then, keep on looking at my website. Thanks to Ethan, at least for doing that. Hope the rest of you do the same. More updates are going to be made as the days and weeks go on. A lot of exciting things are going to be happening at Stone Soup. Oh, and I should also mention this. Tony B is hosting a poetry event this weekend. She has asked me to be part of the online segment. There is it's basically an event at her community garden in Cambridge. It's taking place on Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. And some people are going to be performing live using social distancing, but some people, at least 10, have elected to read as part of an online segment, which I've agreed to moderate. So if you would like to be a part of that, I'll be putting up a link for that very shortly. And Tony B, of course, is an amazing host, and she knows a lot of amazing poets in the Cambridge area and beyond. And she was trying to do an event that would have taken place this April and May that would have encompassed several locations. It would have encompassed poets of all types in both Cambridge and Boston. But unfortunately, with the pandemic, despite all the money we raised, we weren't able to get it to happen. So we are hopefully going to be making announcements regarding that. And Patricia Kerrigan just mentioned the event that's going to be taking place on November 21st, in which I'll be reading with Joshua Corwin, who's actually a brand new oddball columnist. But more importantly, he's a podcaster and a West Coast poet beast in his own right, and as well as Megha Sood, who's also I believe a New Jersey poet who also has a book out. I'm honored to be reading with these people from 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, November 21st. And I'll be posting information on that now that I actually have the event in front of me. I didn't see it earlier, but I will be very glad to do this. The last time I read it, Brownstone.
It just happened. It just happened during this Zoom reading. I just got
Awesome.
the information from Roxanne. It just happened.
So the information is going to be great. The last time I read it, Brownstone, it was almost 10 years ago, 7 or 8, and I ended up being a feature reader live in New York, which was the first time ever. So that was a nice thrill for me. And it looks like we have someone joining us. Jason. Are you there?
Jason.
Jason? Jason.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Jason.
Hi.
We were just about to wrap up, but we got a new
Yeah.
person. But we got we just had CC Oshaga come in and do a set. Are you willing to do a set yourself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, I was just, let me just see if I can, I'm on my phone, so.
Can I say something in honor of Jack while he does that? Jack,
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Jack used to love the phrase penultimate reader, and I don't know if anyone remembers, but what that meant to him wasn't the last reader. It meant the moment before the moment, the person before the last, the moment before the end. It was the second to the last kind of a thing, penultimate. And I don't know if that's the way that it got carried on through the generations, but I wanted to say that before and another time because I heard you use penultimate as the last, and I think Jack used it differently. I was wondering if James remembers that or not. Yeah, okay, yeah. He loved it. Was one of his favorite words. I just needed. Okay, let's hear Jason and you do the swan song or whatever you want to call it. Thank you. I miss Jack.
Thanks, James. And Jason, if you're done flushing the toilet and getting back out of the bathroom, you can read now.
Your audio.
Boy, that may have been more dead on than I thought. Jason.
Shit.
Occupied.
Uh-oh, he's double joining. There's 2 Jasons on the main view now, at least by my view. Okay, I think he's back on.
Jasons. There's so many Jasons. Cece, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
Oh man, I miss you. I've been meaning to call you.
It's been forever.
For now, let's hear some poetry. What do you got?
Absolutely, yeah. Hold on, let me just start my video.
Unless you want to come on a third time. There you are.
There we go. What other Zoom can I come on here? All right. Let's see. I got a couple poems for you from Train of Thought, from my latest book I'm working on. So here we go. These are some poems actually that are going to be premiering it on Jagged Thoughts. So, I mean, in the next couple weeks. So here's one. It's called Baby Be Free. I'll get there, baby. Hold on to the pieces. There's something left. I know it. Not everything is broken. Starstruck, she left me and walked over to the next lonely me. I said I never wanted to be me. She said, baby, be free. And I said, wake me up, poetry, make love to me. So she lifted her skirt and she dazzled me. And I woke up less lonely. And then I got one more. I was listening to this music. It was like this bongo music, and I came up with this idea. So influential drum beats, bango, bingo, yeah, time to let go, the salsa, orangutan, dang, 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 language, make me a sandwich, play in the sand, bitch, in your sandbox, let me take you down to detox on your soapbox, type on the keys, fanatically, Jesus, rest in peace, Reese's Pieces, silver cabinet, rose on gravel, we bang the gavel and take the shrapnel, we lazy threes, we rest in graves, we solid like some other shape, some rectangular, vernacular, we sound spectacular. We are the beat. We are the basic embodiment of everything you need to speak. You are poetry and I am free because you make me breathe. Rest your head on my shoulder and play electric lady play. We sing something other than a supper dinner bell. We listen to jazz and rebel yell. We spell spellbound like this. Spellbound, and we wrap our hands on tired eyes and rest our hands on tired thighs. Tap the bottles and swing. We swing for the fences in redemption circles. We lift our heads up high, baby. Don't desert me. You're all I have left. Miss Poetry, miss, don't miss me. Miss, don't miss me. Oh yeah, you know, bae, I sing in something other than the key of life or death or beauty. I am not ugly. I am not beauty. I am simply me. I simply be. I simply am threes to be seen in pieces, rich and enlightened catastrophe. I am 2020's 2020. I am paper money. I am rubber-backed bullets. I am so existential, so presidential. I am so influential, and I'm gone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Rock that one out.
Very glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah,
and so having closed the poetry reading, the round robin, exit all our heroes stage left. But that's a deep cut if you can figure out where that came from. But thank you all for coming. Vote early in the coming weekends. Vote often. I won't say vote often, but
early, vote often.
Vote with your hearts before they get torn out on November 4th. And
your brain,
Chad, the Horathon next week on.
I already put a notice out for that. They have until the end of Friday to the 23rd to submit. We've already gotten some great submissions, including some voices we don't normally hear from. But obviously, our idea to capture on the horror of the moment somehow resonated with people who are kind of sick of hope. So
that's the other idea that we're coming up with is the future no future after the Horathon, which is more about like the no hope aspect of the future that depending on where the election takes us. That's next week.
So we'll look forward to hearing
benevolence. Transcend the crap. Get off the chessboard.
I'm trying. Anyway, good Lord. I will keep notified. Keep checking out my site. Hopefully, I'll be resending out the letter, Chad Parento's Lost Causes. If you're interested in being a part of that weekly newsletter, which has some often little gems I cannot share online to an entire audience, let me know. And I will send it to you, and send me your email address, and I will hopefully get back to sending that out. Ideally, it should go out on Tuesday night, but more likely it's been going out Wednesday afternoon just because I have not been able to have the time or the energy. But as I'm getting acclimated to the new home life, hopefully that will change, and hopefully new disciplines will be had. and the information will get out sooner. But thanks to everyone for their patience, especially these last couple of weeks. Would have done it if I could have done it, but I could not. And I'm glad I still have people waiting around to ask me when Stone Soup is coming back. And I love that people are checking out Oddball and my other sites. So please keep on doing that. That helps keep me going, especially these days. And have yourself an excellent evening, all of you.
There's some really good news at the this might be a thing in Connecticut where I am. They just released millions of dollars to nonprofits where if you donate between now and the I just heard about it yesterday from my friend who runs the Buttonwood Tree in Middletown, that if you give $1 or more, any money, the state is going to match it 50%.
Wow.
I don't know if Mass is doing that or if it's a Connecticut thing, but look into it because it's a short window.
See, we should connect on some stuff.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I got a new job. I'm working 10-hour days, but yeah, call me this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for sure.
You got it, man. I will.
All right. Love you all.
You guys are great.
Bye, Carol.
Let's do the wave.
We have to do the wave.
Obligatory wave.
On your new book.
Obligatory wave.
Bye.
Okay. As a canceled cartoon character once said, the show's over. See you next time.
See you later.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.